I earned an undergraduate degree in sociology with a minor in business and biology. And let's see, my master's degree is in human resource development, and I have a PhD in organizational leadership from North Central University. I've been a professor full time at Jacksonville University in Jacksonville, Florida since 2008. So I'm going into my 14th year. And I've been teaching on the graduate level. I started my adjunct career about 21 years ago. Okay, so I've been with UFred. This is my second year. One of my colleagues who works for UFred, his name's Dr. James Marabella, who told me about UFred, and I was interviewed by former Dean Don McCann, and that was a pretty intense process. I'd never heard of UFred prior to Dr. Marabella introducing to me, but it's a good thing that he did because I'm having the time of my life. So the most important part of virtual learning is that the professor needs to understand that you are trying to lead people for an hour and a half who have been at work for 8 hours. And it is your job to engage, to invite, to even entertain in many instances. The thing that I think that students would get the most out of in terms of being a learner is that they need to participate, that you will only get out of it what you put into it. And so we work sort of synergistically to make sure that both the student and the professor are engaging with one another. I'm not lecturing, I'm facilitating. And I even refer to myself in my introductory note each semester as I'm a tour guide, because a lot of the things and the concepts they already know. They just need to integrate the theory and practice. So they've already seen this stuff before. They've already seen it in their organizations. They've experienced it in life. So I'd like to think of this as a process where we have an intense level of awakenings and engagement. And so when we do that, the next thing you know, the hour and a half V class is just sort of evaporated. I always make sure to make them have ownership of the process. This is not my class, it's their class. It's a community. People often apologize sometimes for saying, I have another question. This is gonna be a long statement. I said, no, you pay rent here. This is your education. You're earning it. Speak your piece. UFred students have consistently been the most highly engaged, highly invested, most intelligent concentration of students that I've ever seen in one place at one time, consistently, semester after semester after semester. In terms of the teamwork, the team assignments, it does stretch some individuals because not all of them are in the same time zone. Not all of them have the same backgrounds. And when I'm separating the teams in by groups, I do so intentionally. So I don't want to have too many people that work in HR in the same group, or too many people that serve in the Canadian forces, or too many pharmacists or biologists or lab tech individual engineers or miners. I go through each bio and I look at what these folks do as an occupation, and I intentionally mix the teams up to promote diversity of thought, diversity of occupation, and it forces them to get outside of their comfort zone and not gravitate toward people that are like-minded. And the same thing exists in the workplace. You may not necessarily work with people that you like, that you may not have different personality types, but it is symbolic of what occurs in the real world. And I think that the group work is beneficial because it reinforces the understanding that if we don't work together in teams, that nothing gets accomplished. So that is also a part of the UFred model that I like. You have to work in teams because there's very little that we do in the world that there's very little in the world that we accomplish when we don't work in teams. The UFred faculty, they're very professional. When we're in the meetings, the faculty meetings, we actually solve problems. They're very collaborative. They're very cordial. They're very collegial. Everyone's voice is heard, whether we're young or whether we're new or whether we're seasoned. And so it caught me off guard during my first UFred meeting 2 years ago about how people really wanted my opinion, and I felt as though I was in a safe space, and I've said things, and they write everything down, they pay attention to it, and they acknowledge it. So they're a very, very talented group of individuals. Teaching at UFred, in a sense, has caused me to raise my game because the students demand it. I don't just view the student as a student, I view them holistically because I know what students go through in a non-traditional manner, because I earned my last 2 degrees, my master's and my doctorate, in a non-traditional manner. I was working. When I started my PhD, my son was a newborn. I was trying to prove myself to be able to earn a full-time position at uh, my university now by teaching at 2 different schools. And I had all this stuff going on at the same time. I know what the grind is, and I know struggle when I hear it, and I know what our students go through. So I'm always gracious, especially when they ask me for a little bit more time to accomplish things. And it warms my heart to hear babies in the background, and to see cats crawling on the keyboard, and dogs barking while these people are trying to do things. I just understand what it is to be human and try to go through this at the same time. So I'm a strange bird, and I look at this from a totally different lens than most professors. So I'm willing to work with students if they want to show up at 8:45 at night or at 7 o'clock and try to get this done. I don't mind that people apologize for their babies. I said, no, don't do that. That's the most beautiful sound in the world. So just stay with me, and we'll get it done. And so they're relaxed, I'm relaxed, and so I just think we have a good bit of fun. I think the future of education has been thrust upon us, uh, I would say, exponentially faster than we thought it would due to the pandemic. What I'm learning about online learning and the experience in light of that is that I firmly believe that there's no going back. The graduate learner, even the undergraduate learner, what they want now is choice. They want the freedom to be able to participate synchronously, asynchronously. They want to be able to have the flexibility of being a mom, a dad, a corporate executive, and still earn the education simultaneously. Um, I think that the days of us only offering a product that's in a building, brick and mortar, I think those days are behind us. They already started prior to COVID-19. We realize, and the people have spoken. We don't want to show up. We want to be engaged. We want to be invested, but we want to engage in this process under on under our terms, on our terms. And I think that we as academics and academic institutions have to focus on delivering a quality product that is as closely simulated to a face-to-face environment as we can. That means that we as instructors, we have to be engaged. We have to be energetic. Last year here in Jacksonville, I was recently selected to sit on a board, the largest hospital board in Northeast Florida. It's called the Baptist Health Foundation. And we're responsible with a philanthropic body of all the hospitals, all the ER centers, all the doctors' offices, the MD Anderson Cancer Clinic, and one of the premier children's hospitals in Southeast America called the Wilson Children's Hospital. And so this has been a portion of my life that has actually pulled me away from research. I'm now classified at my university as a practicing academic because of my team building activities, my consulting activities in the community, and my board work. So I'm making what's called an impact in a different way in community initiatives, and I believe that that was a transformation for me, because though research is important, I realized that if people are not in my tunnel or in my rabbit hole, that not a lot of people get exposed to it. But as a community servant, as one who's helping raise money for a cause, meeting different people, bringing people in, and to me, that's just a different opportunity for me to showcase a skill set that I didn't even know who I had, how to engage donors, how to get out there and if you can see the projects that we're doing here in Jacksonville in terms of creating the new hospital wing, we just launched this program that is called Age Well with the hospital, and it's providing transportation, therapy services, assistance with pharmaceuticals for the senior community here in Jacksonville, and just so many other different things that are going on outside of academia that I can still contribute to as a business professor. And so for me, that's been an awakening and something that I'm involved in. And no matter where I went, even beyond this place, it just um it shows me that there's more that's going on outside the world than what's going on inside of my bubble. I'm just having the time of my life, serving at UFred and praying that I can continue. Things change so much in this world. The world is so dynamic, and this is probably hands down the best job I've ever had. In terms of the way I'm treated by the admin, the way I'm interact with the students. It's funny to say that with a part-time opportunity, but let me tell you, it's just been changing, life altering for me. So I just want to continue the journey for as long as I can. So I'm gonna live in the moment and just do my best.